Okay, because moving to the next concept, we need to discuss about the asset library. Asset library is a vault for the resources that we have for default or we can add from outside of the software. And in this library, we have many resources that we can use during the project and texturing process. So let's be familiar with this window because we are going to use that a lot. And you can access to the asset library with this icon here. Okay. So you can access to the library or you can dock it on the UI. And you can search among the resources. For example, you want to create steel material. You just need to search about the steel inside the library. Okay. Or for example, metal. And all the resources that have metal tag inside the metadata, they are going to be appear in the search, and you can access to the all resources and use that very simple. For example, I need this stylized raw metal, and I can click and drag on the model like this, or I just can click and drag it to the layer section like this or like this one. So when you drag it on the model, the texture set is going to change automatically. And now we are in a body, not head. So that's it. We can use the asset like that. And we have different assets in the library. The first one is materials or base materials. They are just one single layer. They could be complex material or just fill layer with simple data, okay? Or the material that created in Substance Designer before, and we are just use it in a painter. And you have access to tons of material in Substance Painter default library. You can create your own library and you can add your library to the painter very easy. I'm going to show you that. So we have another type of asset. We are going to call this type of asset as a smart material. And when I apply, okay, let's apply this one. As you can see, they are not just single layer. This is the material structure with more than one layer inside a folder, and you can create your own smart material. We are going to cover that, don't worry. And for example, I need leather, and this is the leather. Okay, let's change the color for the folder. And as you can see, this is the base layer, the second layer, third layer, and fourth layer. Okay, so this is the smart material, and you can access to the smart material in here. Okay, so let's remove the smart material. We have smart masks. For example, let's create a simple structure. I have a red layer, and now I just want to have, for example, dirt dry on this layer, and I can just click and drag and release it in here in a mask section. So it's going to create a mask and a generator for me. Okay, and this is the result that I have. Okay, let's use another one, for example, this one. And as you can see, they are just pre-made mask. We are going to discuss about that, to how to create a smart mask and a smart material. Okay, and you have access to the filter in an asset library, and you can access the filter on right click. For example, you can add filter and choose filter from here. Okay, or just you can use the filter directly from asset library. You have tons of brush option with different setting in the properties. Let's create a brush and let's change the color. And for example, I'm going to use dark hatcher. And as you can see, it's not changing my material when they are white, pure white. And when the thumbnail is colorful or just they have their own material, when you click on the brush preset, your material section is going to be changed. Okay, so for example, gradient hue. Okay, now I have this kind of brush. Okay, like this. And let's use, for example, footprint. Okay, it's like that. Okay, ivy branch. And yeah. Okay, like this. So you have very good brush preset in the asset library. You need to try all of them, and using them is so easy. You just need to click on, for example, charcoal full frame, and when they are white, it means they don't have material setting, so be careful about that. So let's go and remove this layer, and I'm going to create a paint layer with the dark gray base color material, and let's paint. Okay, I'm going to turn off the symmetry, and let's paint. Yeah, like this. Okay, I can use this kind of brushes. And this is the fun part of using Substance Painter. You can play with so many assets and you can have different result. Okay, let's go for the alpha section. You access to the alpha section with a lot of pre-made alpha, and we are going to use some of them in the project, but this is your task to play and see what you have here. And if you find some interesting alpha or brush or material or smart material, you need to right click on that and just use add to favorite feature, and it's going to be in top like this tree. Okay, so this is the alpha section. This is the texture section. We can access to all the textures that we have inside the project, and you can use all of them. And we are going to use many of them. So don't worry, just give time to yourself and see what you have here. And this is a simple task because you can create a fill layer and you need to just put the grunge on the base color and see what you have here. And you can play with the texture in the fill properties or the parameter related to the texture itself. Now I can play with the balance, contrast, play with the flip or tile amount. Okay, and now I have the seed option. If you press on the seed, you can have a unique result each time. So with just one texture, you can reach to the unlimited possibility. Okay, and you can change the projection. For example, I'm going to use a cylindrical projection. Okay, like that. And let's move here and change the position. Okay, like this. And yeah, like this one. So this is the unique result. Maybe we just need to have planner. As you can see, the planner projection, I just get a unique result with this grunge on the surface. And you can play with the tiling, rotation, offset, etc., etc. So this is your task. Please take time to familiar with the asset library. We are going to use many of them during the project, but you need to know what you have inside your pocket, right? Before spending. So let's go for the last category. This is the category related to the HDR that we load in environment map. Okay, so you can access them here or just here. For example, I'm going to change it, and that's it. So let's go back to the asset library again. We can increase the size of the thumbnail with this option. If you like to have a list, you can do that, but it's my prefer to have thumbnail like that with medium size. Okay, and now you can change your library. For example, for the default, we have this setting set on all library. It means your library, default library, and the project library, they are all together. But if you import something into Substance Painter and define that you need to go to the project library, when you select the project here, you can just see the project resources, not all the resources that you have. Okay, if you go for the starter asset, it means you are access to the library as a default library in Substance Painter, or a starter asset. And if you change it to your asset, you can see what you have. For example, I have these assets in my library. Okay, I create these assets, so I can just see them here. And if I change it to a starter asset, this is a different resources. Okay, so let's search something in here. For example, I'm going to search leather, and this is the leather search result inside the library. Okay, I need to keep the leather search for myself during the project. So, but I need another search. For example, I'm going to search about the dirt or fabric material. So how can I keep that search? You need to come here and press on Open Current Query in New tab, like this. And you have a new asset library window that just search about the leather. Okay, and you can put it on a second monitor. And now let's change the search related to the fabric, and let's make a new window, as you can see. And you can put all the tab in here, and for example, let's start. You have access to the default asset library, you access to the leather search, and you have access to the fabric search. Okay, so let's close all of them. In this way, you learned how to manage your search and search query, how to keep that. And if you press this one, it's going to be reset all the query. And what if I need to save that search and load it again? So for example, let's type leather, and this is the result of the leather. I'm happy with that. So let's save the search in here, and boom. Every time I open the Substance Painter and come over to the asset library, I can go here and choose leather, and this is the search result that I need. So in this way, I can manage the asset library in my way. This is the good stuff. And that's it. We have all the setting inside the asset library. We have two questions and they are not answered already. The first one is how we can import anything or any resources inside Substance Painter. It's so easy on the 9 version. It's a little bit difficult and tricky before, but now it's just drag and drop. Okay? For example, I have a material here, and now I need to material inside my layer section. In the previous versions, you should import the resources inside the asset library for the first step, and after that, you could use the asset like this. Simple click and drag. Okay, but now we can just simply click and drag the resource that we have inside the layer section. Okay, and as you can see, we have iron rough on the asset. So it's automatically import the asset inside the asset library, and we can just use that very easy and fast inside the layers. That's it. So this is the way that you can import any asset into Substance Painter. But the old-fashioned or classic way to import asset to the Substance Painter is use this plus icon here, or just use File and Import Resources. So let's go for the Import Resources window from this plus icon. And now you can press on Add Resources. Okay, now you can select the resources that you want. It could be JPEG, PNG, or PST file, or SPSAR, or SPSM, a smart material format for the Substance Painter, or anything else that Substance Painter could support. And after that, you can select the resources and just press open. And if nothing happen here, nothing appear here, you can find out that format is not supported by Substance Painter. And after adding data or resources here, you can change the tag. This is the very important step because you are going to search in here with this tag, because when you search about the metal is not included in the name. Okay, but when you search metal, the steel painted, it's going to be appear on the search. Okay, so this is the very important section. You need to define the tag that you want, and for this section you need to define for the painter what is the resources that we are going to import to the painter. For example, both of them are base material. Maybe we have a black and white picture or image, and we want to import them into Painter as a texture, not alpha. So we can define the category of the resource in here. So let's go for the base material. And the third step, it's very important. When you want to decide import your resources to, you have 3 options. Current session, I don't recommend to use that, because when you close the Substance Painter, the asset and the resource that you import inside the painter, it's going to be disappear. Okay, so the project, it means you are importing those assets into the project library. Okay, and it's different from the library itself, because whenever you open this specific project, you can access to those resources. Not in every project that you open, but when you import the asset into the library, and we have your asset library here, you can access these assets and resources in every project that you open. Okay, So this is the important option. You need to decide, and whenever you use click and drag, you are going to use the default one into the project library. Okay, so how we can define our personal library inside Substance Painter? For this purpose, you need to close your project like this, go to the file and use close function. And after that, you need to go to the edit settings and you need to select the library. And in here, you can give a name to the library, for example, test library, and you need to define a path for that. Okay, after that, you can press on a plus sign, and now you have the test library. And when you change the default library in here and press OK, let's open example. When you import something like this, and you want to import your resources to the test library, and let's import. And when you leave the category undefined, you have this window. Press cancel. Let's define, and after that, let's import. And now you have the test library, your asset, a starter asset, and the project. Okay, and let's see what we have in a test library. The library for Substance Painter is like that. As you can see, we have the category here, and this is the category for the library. And whenever you see this kind of a structure, it means you reach a Substance Painter library. So we know everything we should know about the library and asset workflow inside Substance Painter. And I decided to put this video inside the introduction to improve your workflow and teach you how to create your library. Because whenever you want to move from beginner level to professional level, you need to have your own library, your customized library. And in this way, you can increase your workflow and your speed. So this is enough for this video. Let's go for the next video and work on a next concept in paint layers.